Hi, everybody. It's Ben. Just wanted to put a quick message here up at the front to let you know that the audio quality on this episode is not up to the usual standards, and I'd like to apologize in advance for that. One of our audio files got corrupted, and as such, I had to use my backup, which is recorded directly from Discord via OBS. So you might notice occasional echo here and some quality that, like some audio quality just kind of not being as nice as normal. So I do apologize, but that's why I have backups for situations like these so that we don't lose a whole episode and you can still listen to it if you want. I totally understand if the audio quality is not okay for you. Sorry about that, but did my best here to clean this up as much as I could. And hopefully you will still enjoy the discussions we have. And next time we should be all good. Thank you so much and enjoy the episode. Bye. Welcome to Updated Autopsy Report, a podcast from Yotsuben and Friends where we replay the entire Ace Attorney series with longtime fans and newcomers. I'm your host, Ben, and with me today is Dessy.
Hello!
And two good friends of ours, Tiago.
Yo!
And Rose.
Hi.
We just had a conversation about volume levels in recordings, so if you can't tell...
Apparently there's something wrong with mine.
Oh my goodness. Dessy and I are the longtime fans, and Rose and Tiago are the newcomers. We hope that through both of our perspectives as we play through the series, it'll reveal new details and provide interesting commentary for a series near and dear to us. Today, we have all played the first two segments of Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice, Turnabout Revolution. This is a long case, and we are breaking it up into several chunks. And in some ways, this is kind of its own case all on its own.
It dead ass is. Why is it part of the last one?
I have no idea.
The summary today for these first two chunks. Apollo and Trucy are at the office watching a video of Dirk declaring a revolution on TV when suddenly the man himself strides in through the front door, patting Apollo on the back and acting like a dad. He reveals that he's here in the US because the Founder's Orb is also here in Crane Village with an archaeologist named Archie Buff. Also, Dirk hands Apollo a photo of his real biological dad, musician Jove Justice.
Insane.
The two head over to Buff's office in Crane Village, but find Emma Skye there, as the man apparently died from a very unsuspicious fall in his office. They poke around, cannot find the orb, mention that Dat's a rebel is also here, and then bump into roving politician Paul Attition.
Is this the worst one?
Oh, yeah, I was about to say. Before you ask, this is not the worst pun in the game.
Oh, I literally stopped you on the foot to get to my bit.
Paul says he's also looking for the orb, but it's actually the crystal of Ami Faye and belongs to his family as an heirloom. Apollo and Dirk trace Buff's last steps to hopefully find where he hid the orb. This leads them into a dangerous and water-filled cave, and also the orb itself. The cave begins filling with seawater, and Apollo can't swim, so surely he's gonna die.
I'm sure they retconned that, too.
Dirk, of course, rescues him at the last moment, and the two return to Crane Village. There, Phoenix Wright appears and reveals that he's been retained by Paul Attition as his attorney. with two parties both claiming the orb is theirs. The first ever Ace Attorney civil trial begins, with Apollo on one side and Phoenix on the other. During court, Buff's kid, Army Buff, who pilots a little drone helicopter around, gives vital testimony that reveals Archie had indeed discovered the trick to the Founder's Orb. Apollo and Athena heat the orb up with fire, and it reveals the face of the Holy Mother, proving it's the Founder's Orb and not the Crystal of Omni-Fae. Phoenix is absolutely distraught by this, as it's revealed that he has been blackmailed into taking Attition as his client. Maya will supposedly be killed if Phoenix doesn't win the case. However, Apollo points out that Attition that the only person who can channel the Holy Mother right now is Maya herself. So he's actually stuck in a catch-22, and Maya must be left unharmed to obtain the power that Attition so desires. He crumples. Also, we reveal that Politician was actually the one who killed Archie Buff by dropping a heavy suitcase on him, so I guess it wasn't a civil trial after all. And then they all say they're going to Korean, I guess.
You act like you forgot the last part.
They kind of just go, all right, well, anyway, we're going to head out here now. We're going to go back to Korean.
Guess we better go make sure Maya's okay. Again.
I like this mini case.
This case was good.
It's fun. There's some interesting stuff going on here.
I had a fun time.
So yeah,
it was fun. It was just Phoenix and Apollo. Sadmati wasn't there.
There's a lot of things I like about this case, but one of them is the fact that like this is the exact thing that Des wanted, which is just investigation and then just court.
Yep.
We got that. It was pretty good. We got to play as Apollo, my favorite little guy. I just want to pinch his cheeks. What a cool guy. Okay, we can both have the same favorite little guy. Is that okay? Can we share Apollo? Yeah. Can I get him on weekends?
Joint custody, yeah.
No. You gotta go to civil court.
Come on, you gotta make me fight for him. He's 25.
He's a grown-ass man.
I'm pretty sure it's up to him who he wants to see on weekends at this point.
True.
And it's not Dirk, clearly.
Dirk, how do you feel about him on the dad scale? Good dad, bad dad?
He's
awful dad.
Awful. All right, we're getting awful, we're getting all right. Ben?
I'm poisoned by knowledge. I can't.
You're poisoned by knowledge.
I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth. Okay, that's the most suspicious thing ever possible. Apparently.
I mean, we're getting more Dirk through the rest of the case, if you couldn't tell, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You know,
this feels sad, and this is so sad, less forced than Clay.
Yeah.
Like, it still feels weird, but it feels less, I don't know.
Less contrived.
It's a little bit better. It's still kind of like staple a backstory onto this man.
Here's the thing.
But they put a little more care into it this time, I feel like.
Did we ever see Clay? Did we ever talk to him?
No, he fucking died. He got murdered.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that, like, that's the difference, right? Is that Clay never actually got to, like, interact with us, the player.
Right.
Whereas Dirk,
maybe
showed up at our doorstep with sushi. With funny little sushi.
Yeah, he did show up with,
also,
a tray.
But you know what's weird? Like, why was the news just fucking showing a terrorist demand video? Like, I'm pretty sure they don't do that.
Not typically, no.
That's not a normal thing that happens in the real world. Weird vibes.
Do we not see that? Okay, well, I mean,
you can find everything on the internet, but they're not usually fucking showing it on, Channel 5.
You know what? Considering the actual current events of geopoliticals in the year 2024, I agree with you. I'm just gonna I thought about the real world for a second, and it scared me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to fair play. Why the fuck is Dirk there? He shows up. He has sushi. He looks at Trucy and goes, "Oh, what a cute little friend you have. Yippee, you're making friends."
Yeah.
And Apollo goes, "I don't feel great with having you here with me right now."
Yeah, he's like, I haven't seen you in years, and you just show up and try to act like the cool dad. You want something, don't you? And Dirk's like, well, you got me. I do kind of want the Founder's Orb, and it's here.
I can't believe that in the years that Apollo has worked for the Phoenix Wright Anything Agency, that he hasn't been to Karain Village. Because, like, he knows Pearl. He knows Pearl Fey. So, like, when Dirk goes, the orb's in a funny little village called Karain Village, and Apollo goes, I think I've heard about it once or twice, but I've never been. We've never been to Pearl's house for, like, tea and cookies? Like, we can't visit our friends? Our homies?
Hell no.
It's like, Apollo, you grew up in Kurain, and Karain is kind of like little Kurain.
No, but you gotta remember, Apollo made it a point to forget his past. That's why we, the player, didn't know about it in Apollo Justice or Dual Destinies. He literally says, I tried my best to forget that because my father left me in Japanifornia, which is like low-key better than the Kingdom of Kurain because there's not a weird dictatorship.
Yeah.
Fucking.
And
I think I like Dirk. That's the issue. You know what I mean? Is that
I
like
love
a fun
him.
design?
I think I love him.
I think
Yeah,
I
I kinda
love
like
him.
him.
I think I love him.
He's okay. So we all love Dirk, but we all admit that he's a shitty dad.
I said he was okay.
I mean, have you met me?
Fair play. All right.
Dirk also like shoves this crumpled photo of Apollo's real dad, his biological dad, into his hands and goes, it took me a lot of work to get this. Take it. And Apollo's like, I never met the dude. This doesn't really mean much to me. And he's like, well, take it. Anyway.
I wish he was like his father was like a JoJo or something. I heard Jove and I was like, JoJo?
Yeah.
I mean, his last name is Justice. That's like pretty JoJo-esque.
He's
JoJo? Joe Justice?
Yeah.
It's possible.
I mean, Apollo does kind of have a stand, right? Like with the Psycho Eye attack.
Yeah.
He can use. All right, what's a good stand name for it? Eyes Without a Face by Billy Idol. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got there a little too quick for my own liking. We go to Karain Village. We go see the archaeologist house, which is also it has public access, which is weird, right? People are allowed, it's like a museum, sort of.
I mean, he had a lot of people coming and going. I don't know if it's public access per se.
First, I want to ask, Dirk asks you if you'll be his lawyer. What did everybody pick?
Oh, I said yes immediately because I wanted the plot to progress. What did you pick?
I picked no. And you know what happens? Apollo starts saying something immediately that's super reasonable, like, listen, you asshole, you just showed up here out of nowhere and you want me, and Trucy immediately interrupts him and is like, yes, we're doing it, shut the fuck up.
Well, Trucy wants to hunt for adventure. She's like, she's at that age when she wants to hunt for adventure.
I looked at that and I said, I know what's gonna happen, which is the game is gonna make me do it anyways, but let me try saying no. Let me help out my man.
What funny little saying do you get if you say no?
What do you mean?
Like when you know that you have to say yes to something, you just say no to see what the silly dialogue says.
Yeah, but what if it like actually ended the game for me? You know what I mean? I feel like
I didn't want to be like coerced into being some guy's lawyer just because he's my shitty adopted dad who I haven't seen in 10 years.
I was playing the game as Apollo, and Apollo would absolutely bend like a fucking leaf. You know what I mean? Like he'd fold so quick. He folds to Trucy, he folds to Athena, he folds to Phoenix Wright. This man folds like a napkin, and that's why I love him.
Just for Trucy.
I think he folds to Athena.
Well, I don't think it matters if he does or not, right? Because she's just gonna do whatever anyway.
Right.
True. And then Apollo Justice was literally him just folding to Phoenix Wright, because Phoenix Wright would go, hey, defend this guy, and Apollo would go like, fine, fuck it, I don't care.
Listen, I'm trying to give this man some character development, and you're not helping me.
It's not our job to give it character development. It's Capcom's.
Well, they're not doing it, so somebody's gotta.
I think he had character development in this exploratory in the investigation phase when he got to go cave diving, spelunking.
You would never catch me cave diving, listeners. Get that shit out of here.
If you go to cave, you're signing your own death warrant. Do not
sorry
go
if
to
you
cave.
love cave diving and it's your favorite hobby. Please stop doing it.
If you take a map,
a
map of disappearances in America and a map of the underground cave system, it's like 1 for 1. All right, this shit sucks. Don't go underground. God gave us the sky, and you're spurning him.
Just play Minecraft.
Hang on.
What?
Mole people listeners, please ignore us.
Yeah, if you're a mole person, shut the fuck up.
Well,
like 5
that's
minutes
not what
ago,
I'm saying.
I was about to say, speaking of Athena, but we moved past Athena really quick. What did everybody think of the way that they preoccupy Athena?
Literally insane.
She's supposed to be picking up Phoenix from the airport.
And she went to the wrong airport and then fell asleep.
It's revealed at the end of the case that that's what happened. She just went to the completely wrong airport.
Like, probably LAX, right? Like, how do you fuck that up, Athena? Like, yes, there are multiple airports in the greater Los Angeles area. I'm very aware of this. However...
But if you're coming in from Korean, you're coming into LAX.
I think he just drank a bunch of NyQuil on the way. Like, that's the only fucking explanation I can think of. Or Benadryl, because why the fuck would he just fall asleep at an airport?
Just pop a couple antihistamines.
Yeah, she had an allergy to someone's bullshit and then was just like, alright, I got this. And then fell asleep at fucking the other airport in Japan-California. Which I don't know the name of the actual airport in California. I know there's LAX, but I don't know the other one.
There's San Diego International.
LAY, LAZ.
Do you think that the location of like where we have our law office, do you think that's in San Francisco?
I always just sort of assumed it was LA.
Yeah, I think they've actually said the words Los Angeles at one point. I'm pretty sure.
What? They reference the City of Angels?
I believe they do at one point.
City of Angels.
Wow. So much to learn.
But so they go into Archie's Archie buff because he's an archaeologist buff.
Mm-hmm. Is that the worst one?
No.
Okay.
Don't worry. You'll know
not
it.
Yet
it will smack you in the face upside down, one side the other. You'll know it. And he has a kid here. We don't meet this kid right at this moment, but we as you're examining this whole room where he fell off of his ladder supposedly and conked his head and
couldn't get up in the morning.
For a guy who has a daughter in a wheelchair, why do you have a full flight of steps up to get inside your house and then a spiral staircase down to get into your study? Your kid was in the wheelchair when you moved to this place. You moved to Korean Village for the sole purpose of your kid recovering after like this tragic fire that you lost your wife, and the kid's mother in. And he moves to a house that is 2 floors with no elevators or any disability accommodations at all.
I didn't think about that.
I mean, it's a contrivance, right? So that we can have the murder happen.
Yeah.
Right.
I knew it was going to be important because they keep being like, it's weird that there's a second floor. What a strange room. And I was like, okay, something's going on.
Houses have second floors. I didn't think it was that weird.
It's like a funny little balcony. I thought it was a very charming office, honestly. I thought it was lovely.
Well, yeah, no, it's a nice layout, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense for his family life.
I mean, you can't just like go out and buy a house that has, wheelchair ramps built into it unless somebody put those in.
but like it's crazy that
nobody thinks that way.
He's been here for like a long time though.
It was like 5 or 6 months or something like that, I think is what they said.
I think month 2 is when it becomes like, all right, when are we getting this shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like the first month you're like, all right, I get it. There's a process, yada yada. But no, the Archie buff is too busy dusting his goddamn statues, apparently.
We've also got lots of like previous
and setting
items
them on fire.
And setting them on fire.
Yeah, we've also got a lot of previous items from other cases showing up here. Like
the statue of Ami Faye.
Yeah. And the
Ami Faye vase.
Yeah, it's all of it's here.
A relief from the Kingdom of Kurain in the wall.
Honestly, thank God that later in the case, like, they're like, yeah, this dude stole all these artifacts. Like, he stole them.
He
tried them illegally.
But he was gonna return them to their rightful owner.
Yeah, sure he was.
So funny. It's so funny, like, to give him like a noble, like, thief kind of vibe. Like, oh, he stole them to study them, and then he was gonna give them back. He always gave them back.
Phoenix Wright literally goes several times, all respect due to the dead. I think he was going to return them. He goes out of his way to be like, Archie Buffy's a cool guy, everybody. We all love him. All right, we're all fans.
Yeah.
We got that, everybody? Fucking Christ. So like we have to investigate because it's like we're trying to find the orb. Where did it go? And then like Emma Sky's there and is like, oh, by the way, someone died here. Your doctor friend, he ganked it. And honestly, Emma Sky, pretty uncool of you to like not tell us that until we reach the location. You couldn't tell us when we met you outside the village, bro. What the fuck? I thought we were homies. Like,
yeah,
it's probably one of those situations where she's like, "Well, you didn't ask."
Oh my god, yeah, you're right. She's too busy dusting for snackies or some shit. Oh,
her luminol isn't actually luminol; it's just snaku dust.
True. Oh my god. I don't want to think about that. That means everything's sticky. I don't like that. That texture. So That's a Rebel gets arrested because he was caught loitering, and like we have to go visit him in the slammer.
Yeah.
And he goes, wow, this slammer is great. They got food here. I'm actually having a wonderful time. You guys should get arrested.
It's so nice compared to Kurain's prisons.
The one where they apparently whipped me or some shit. I don't know.
The maximum security prisons on top of the peak of a mountain.
That you have to get to by getting fucking helicopter dropped onto. Yeah, he gives us some more information. We have to go back to Archie Buff. That's when we meet the funny drone, Sarge. Sarge is a drone. No, Sarge is the kid Buff, but wants to be called Sarge. They can't leave the room. They've got agoraphobia. So
that means they have a fear of Gore Magala.
Yeah, they have a fear of Gore Magala and Al Gore, and just Gore in general.
Right.
So they communicate to us through the drone. It has a gun. It has a minigun. It shoots BBs?
Yeah.
It has to shoot BBs, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise we'd be dead. We got shot several times.
Yeah, it says this drone is a lot.
The drone has emotions. Very convenient. We quickly... Dirk realizes in his rebel mind that the only way to connect to get more information is to connect to this other soldier. So he just goes like to Apollo and goes, hey, talk to this kid. And was like, you don't want to do it, Dirk? You're the like rebel leader, aren't you? Can't you talk about like army shit? And he goes, no, I think you're a kid and you can talk to kids, right?
You're a kid.
You too lost a parent in an arson.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Okay.
Did we?
Yes, Job Justice died in a fire.
Oh, I forgot. Honestly, just like Jonathan Joestar. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh.
One thing I do...
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I don't know if this happens yet. We meet Politician, who apparently is not the worst pun in this game.
That's actually kind of insane. I was playing this entire chapter thinking that, like...
I thought it was him. I was like, oh man, this is it. This is really quite bad. Haha. There's... At one point he gets angry and like does like a custom animation where he like exerts spiritual pressure or whatever, and I was like, this is sick.
he's a fucking stand user. He's
like he has
power.
It has its own sound. I thought it was like, this is great.
That's what blackmail sounds like.
That's the power of blackmail.
Yeah.
I was like, this rules. We don't see it again for the rest of the. I'm sure we will see it again, but for this segment, we do not. It's just like a one-time thing.
Politician is a Paul. I'm just gonna call him Paul because I refuse to call him his full fucking.
I can't call him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't call him Paul either, but.
Oh, fine, Mr. Etition. Mr. Etition is campaigning to be the mayor of Karain Village, and he thinks that this will get him to, of course, being king. Something that he says multiple times, which makes me think
California.
I actually straight up think that Japanifornia might actually have a king. Like, is there?
You don't think that the joke is that he's completely misinformed and about how politics work? It is that
I think none of us
has a king.
Has anyone seen the leader of Japanifornia? My headcanon is that they're straight up a king. Japanifornia has a monarchy. And that's why it's like this. That's why this entire country is filled with people who murder each other over stupid bullshit. It's because we have a monarchy.
Right.
As opposed to the smart, cool bullshit that people are murdering each other about in real life.
Yes, absolutely.
No, I just think he's stupid.
No, he's very dumb.
He rides around in a palanquin as well. Like he's gets carried around by 4 dudes who lift him up on his little cart.
Those poor dudes, man.
And he has his megaphone. It's a very if you're never seen how Japanese politicians campaign, they're riffing on that like a whole bunch, where they drive around in these little vans with like recordings or megaphones playing out of big speakers on the top and being like, vote for me, kind of thing, and really just harangue people by driving through neighborhoods, making a lot of racket. And he's doing that here in Karain Village, and everybody hates it seems like.
The neighbors hate it, the Faye family hates it, the local dog hates it, the guys fucking driving around the palanquin or whatever probably hate it.
They're getting paid at least.
He approaches us and he goes, hey, you're talking about the orb that Dr. Buff is supposed to give you, right? And we go, yeah, because apparently we can't keep our mouth shut. And he goes, well, that's my orb. You can't have it. And we go, okay, I'll see you later, man. Like, what the fuck are you going to do? You're in a box, idiot.
He does get out of the box later. But yeah,
he does, but only when forced under the rule of law. He must get out of the box.
No, well, that's the thing, though. We learn later that he is the one who pushed Apollo and Dirk in the cave.
Oh yeah, well, I think it's the cave part yet.
Okay, well, I'm just saying. You were bringing up the courtroom segment. I figured it was safe.
The case or they didn't.
Yeah, true. Either they played the case or they didn't. If they
you guys know what's happening. I hope. If not,
I summarized
I'm so sorry.
At the start.
It's too late.
I would love it if a person who has no intention of ever playing these games only gets this information through the podcast.
I think that would be pretty funny.
I think that would be kind of funny.
If you're out there, I love you. Just keep doing what you're doing.
So, if you're out there, have a good day. Drink some water. Take care of yourself.
I appreciate you so much.
So we go back to Archie Buff. Well, no, we talked to Pearl Faye, and Pearl Faye is like, hey, Apollo, I'll help you through anything. And Apollo goes like, you twitched. You're lying to me. I can tell. You're a liar, Pearl. And he goes, I feel so bad about checking Pearl whenever she lies to us, because she always feels so bad.
She doesn't have to, too. Like,
also,
it's always about stuff where it's like, you could have just told us, Pearl. It would have been okay.
Right. And like, I don't want to be... I realize that the whole point of Pearl is that she's sheltered, right?
Yeah.
But she is 18 now, and she still kind of acts like a 12-year-old sometimes, right?
She's overflowing with humanity, bro. She's
drawing crayon drawings on the side of the street, doodling people that walk past. And then when you ask her, did you see a man taking an orb? And she goes, no, mister, I didn't. And you're like, you're lying. you got to tell me, Pearl. And then she's like, okay. And it's like,
first of all,
you're 18,
Yeah,
girl.
that drawing.
Just be honest with me.
She's
on,
never
Pearl.
drawn before, okay? Like
Every
She's
artist
been
has to
doing
start
So
somewhere.
sheltered, she hasn't drawn before. They don't allow crayons in Crane.
We
No.
gotta
this
help
is
her. I think she has potential. I just think
this isn't
somebody.
this is a
needs to help
crayon
her.
village. It's Crane Village.
Yes, sorry, not Coraine, Coraine.
Okay, so fucking through talking, I forgot that we talked to Sarge to get actual useful information. Also, Sarge's mother's died in a horrible fire.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Sarge's mother. We learned that he left with the orb, and then we go talk to Pearl, and Pearl's like, yeah, I saw him leave. I saw Dr. Buff leave to the orb, and he went to a wet place. And we go, what's the nearest wet place? And she goes, oh, probably the cave in the mountain. And we're like, are we going there? And Dirk goes, hell yeah, we're going into the cave. We go to the cave. We find it, apparently. Dirk can just do that. There's some funny images of Apollo Justice in his little vest holding a torch while going through a cave. And it truly is like...
At this point, they have been pushed.
No, this is before they... Oh, yeah, you're right. I think they were pushed. Because they go into a cave... Yeah, you're right.
They're like on the trail, and then they get pushed down like the side of a really steep hill.
Attempted murder, by the way.
Yeah.
They should have played the Fallen song from Undertale when he fell. I think that would have been very funny.
This is also like the most like CGs, to use a very visual novel term, right, that we've gotten in a long time. Just like unique, bespoke drawings, one-off, that are just used to just like illustrate like, oh, the fact that they're walking in a cave. Like normally Ace Attorney will just fade to black, right, and just have the dialogue play out and let you use the theater of your mind and just imagine people moving around or doing certain actions. But here they actually had some illustrations pop up, which was like, oh, okay, that's a fun way to elaborate on it. You guys don't do this often, you know.
We love Apollo.
It helped
like that JPEG.
Right. And it helped I think a little bit with making the conversations between Apollo and Dirk feel a little bit more real, right? To you know, like they were actually traveling for a little bit while crawling around in these caves. As silly as it is.
They go into a cave and it gets dark, and then someone shoves them into a hole. And we don't know who this is yet, but deep down we know that it's a dirty, sneaky, lying politician. And
there's like glowing green moss everywhere, so they can kind of make things out a little bit at first, and then they do have a flashlight then as well.
For our English viewers, that's a torch.
God, I really was like, we're English, but
no, we're not.
I know. But when you, but like, you know what I meant.
For our English speakers.
Oh my lord, you knew what I meant. we go into this cave. It's wet. There's moss. There's a shrine. And on the shrine, there's a box with an orb in it. We take that. Yippee! We got the orb. There's water. The water is salty, which means it's connected to the ocean. Pearl mentioned that the ocean is close enough to the mountain that you can fucking smell it. And Dirk goes, I'll swim and get us a way out. And Apollo goes, I never learned to swim. And
I never learned to swim because you didn't teach me, Dad.
Did he not ever swim in elementary school when he was hanging out with Clay?
Yeah, we get our little backstory bit too, in which
I told you this was fucking retcon like the rest of Apollo.
Yeah, in which Apollo and Nayuta almost get swept away in a river when they're kids, and Dirk jumps in to save them. And then Dirk never goes, you know what? The fact that we live near a raging river, maybe I should teach my boys to swim. He just goes, you know what? I saved them once. I can do it again. It's fine.
Dude, I'll show you a hat trick. I can do it again. So, like, question. Can Nayuta swim? We don't know yet. We'll find out. Maybe he can still swim.
There'll be later when Nayuta and Dirk go into the cave back in Korain, you know, and then Dirk has to save Nayuta. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Very important to note that the entire reason Dirk is doing all of this is because he says verbatim, I want to save Sadmati or some shit like that. And it's like, okay, dude, I guess he already seems pretty whipped by the regime, though. So
yeah, we get a little bit more elaboration from Dirk's perspective, right? In that Yuta supposedly again was going to work on things from the inside out, but what happened to him, man? Where'd I go wrong raising my son?
He became a Hello Kitty fan.
I don't know. Did you try teaching him to swim?
That would have freed him.
That couldn't hurt.
It wouldn't have made the situation worse.
So
Korean's a landlocked country. It's fine.
So Dirk swims out, and we're like alone with Apollo, and then the cave starts to fill up with water.
Yeah,
it becomes a little point and click adventure for a second, where you have to like escape, and you have to like click on stuff to like keep yourself afloat. It's very funny because there's a water bottle, and every time you click on the water bottle, he goes like, "Oh, I know. If I fill it up with air, I can breathe it and live." Wait, that's stupid. I'm gonna go to the log. I don't want to die. And like, this happened several times. I kept clicking on that bottle, thinking it was gonna save me.
Like you were gonna make a little air tank out of it.
Exactly. Eventually, the water fills up too much, but luckily Dirk managed to get him. And just like as a child, he saved Apollo once again from the watery death he was consigned to.
He was not taken by the brine.
He was not taken by the brine. He doesn't have that weird pond disease.
Yeah. And also
he just go ahead.
And also Dirk's explanation for how he got back here is wild.
It makes perfect sense to me.
He's like, "Oh yeah, I swam out. I found a way out into the ocean, and then I bumped into a fisherman on a boat and told him to row me back over here so I could save you."
Nice.
Okay.
I mean, it works, man.
It works.
You know, he just did it. He's that baller, okay? He's got charisma. Because he's
got that Korean charisma.
He's not a cult leader. He's a rebel leader. God, there's a distinct difference. One of them's about the faith. The other one's about fucking freedom rights.
Yeah.
So we just make it back to Korean Village, no problem. And the second we get there, we see our funny, good, cool mentor, Phoenix Wright. And we're like, "Hey, boss, I found the orb for my client." And Phoenix Wright goes, "No, you found the orb for my client." And we go, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "What do you mean? What do you mean? That's my orb. Give it." And we're like, "No. What?" And then I swear to God, like, it was like a WWE match where he goes, "I'm gonna fucking fight you in the court, and we're gonna fucking take off the fucking gloves." Apollo, you don't want to do this, man. I will swing.
Yeah.
I think this is sick. You know what I mean? I think this is straight up what I wanted personally, which is in every JRPG you get to fight the previous protagonist, and the previous protagonist is in like training on the mountaintop. But instead of a mountaintop, Phoenix Wright's been drinking wine inside of a bar. And now we get to fight him.
Right.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. And Phoenix really does like try to like put on the air, right? Of like, "No, I'm gonna go sicko mode on you. Like I'm doing this for real. I will not go easy on you, Apollo." And yeah, there's a little bit of like the student has to beat the master to fully graduate, right? Kind of vibes going on here.
Mm-hmm.
But we do get that initial like little hint that something is going a little awry, right? Because why would Phoenix work for politician? That seems a little strange. And B, we do also, I don't know if anybody caught this at the time, but we get like one line that mentions that like Miles Edgeworth was also poking around Crane Village, right? And everybody's like,
to see my little boy.
Like, what's that about? I don't know. Oh, he was just around here. Oh, okay. Strange.
Your little man.
Yeah. What could that mean?
Fucking it's funny because I was under the impression that Miles Edgeworth was just out here because Phoenix Wright called him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, hey, Miles, I'm really in it, man. I'm going to need your help for this one. And Miles is like, what do you mean? And Phoenix Wright goes, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Miles has been kidnapped again.
Can you use all your contacts to help me out? Come help
me.
Please help me. Charter a plane, please, baby.
Miles Edgeworth takes his glasses in his hand. He crushes it with one hand, opens up the shelf, pulls out another pair of glasses, and goes, I'm on my way.
I love his reading glasses.
I'm on my way.
What's the point of being chief prosecutor if you aren't going to utilize all the resources available to you?
Including it up for his glasses.
Yeah.
That's my bit.
Yep.
So we go to court the next day, and Athena Sykes decides to finally show the fuck up. I swear to God, Athena, are you fucking kidding me? I really goddamn needed you yesterday. And she goes, "What's happening? What's going on? Where's the boss?" And Trucy is distraught. I don't. They really treat like if. So here's a confession: I die several times while playing this court case because
I also came close to death. Actually, I was on the struggle bus a little.
Like, it's not you just lose the case, you die.
Yeah, I died. I straight up Dark Souls died. I left my souls in a location. I had to go pick them up during the boss fight.
Gotcha.
If you lose this case, what happens is the orb does not go to your client. It goes to politician. The reason Dirk wants the orb is because he goes, I want to bring the orb back to Khura'in to like kickstart the revolution. This is the object we need, the MacGuffin. But if he doesn't get it, it says the revolution died this day. And then you go back to the office and it says your relationship with Phoenix Wright was never quite the same. The only word to describe it was awkward. And I'm like, damn, this is like the fucking equivalent of like in Donkey Kong Country when you lose and like Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong are all beat up. It fucking, I felt it, bro. I was like, damn, this one actually got me. Fucking,
it's one of the rare, So
the implication is that Phoenix never tells him that he was being blackmailed.
Yeah, so that means Phoenix Wright was the one making it awkward. He was guilty the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's his fault, not mine.
It's his fault, not yours. You're a professional, and you realize that if you fought your boss, you'd be really normal about it.
Yeah.
I love that the fucking judge is like, aren't you guys in the same office? And we go, yeah. And he goes, all right, but don't make this weird, okay? Everyone be really normal about this. So fucking funny.
The judge is delightful in this. He's just like, all right, I guess we're doing this. Everybody be normal.
Yeah. And in the like initial face off, like as things like start off, you get some of that competent Phoenix Wright, Yeah,
non-player character Phoenix Wright. NPC Phoenix Wright is a competent ass motherfucker.
I mean, I think it's the same thing always, right? Where like he's always just panicking on the inside, but we don't get to see it because we're not his little pixie right now.
I mean, we do get to see it a little bit, in this case, because there is one moment in which,
like near the end,
it's closer to the end in which it seems like you've got it wrapped up, right? And then you have you see this moment where like the gears are turning in Phoenix's head, and you can see him go, "Wait a minute." No, actually, I've got one more thing. And you're like, God damn it, he's fucking pulling one out of his ass again.
He's doing it again.
He's fucking bluffing. Shit.
Athena Sykes calls him like the turnabout terror.
This is the first time that anybody's ever said this, I swear.
I swear to
God. I've never heard it before.
Nobody's ever said this before except for Athena this one time. She's like, I'm trying to make it a thing.
It's cute. It's charming.
It's pretty good. I love fighting against Phoenix Wright because when he does the same exact shit that we do, we get really pissed about it. because he straight up accuses Dats of killing Archie Buff, and it's like, bro, this isn't even a murder case. What the fuck are you doing? This is just about the orb. Why'd you have to bring this into it? And he goes, well, if you killed him, that would null the agreement for the orb. And it's like, you're right, but what the fuck, dude? That's my friend. Oh my god. It really is like, I finally feel the pain that like, all the Payne brothers, Miles, Francisca, Godot, Gavin, fucking I
feel like
Simon Blackwell.
Godot was kind of handling it.
It's so funny that like finally in court we're like, all right, this is a normal court case, all right? There's only one accused murderer, and then the guy across the bench just goes, actually, motherfucker, there's another.
Yeah.
It's so fucking funny to me.
Yeah. It's good. It's a good dynamic, and like all these characters here basically that we're interacting with are some of our like best buddies, and so it's nice to finally like seeing them bounce off of each other in this slightly different situation, right? You know, to finally
like not back and forth in like a friendly way. It's like a rivalry kind of back and forth.
Well, it's like I guess what's the way to put it? It's about like Apollo's growth. It's about him finally like trying to not usurp, but you know, beat Phoenix at his own game and prove that he can do this for real. And also you know, in a way, like the way they phrase it and or the way they kind of portray it at the end, right, is that he's also saving Phoenix, right? Phoenix does a little bit of this like, I almost lost my way, you know, Apollo, thank you, you know, because I almost lost sight of the truth, but you were there to put me right back on the right track kind of thing. They do a little bit of that.
Yeah,
too.
I guess. Like, you didn't really have a choice, but sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of wish that this
Athena
had been a confrontation.
Athena being like, I don't know if I should say anything, like deadass, I would have been like, Apollo, you would not fucking believe what I just heard.
Right. That is the thing that comes up here at your last break, with your last like intermission, you know, Athena overhears that from Phoenix when she sneaks over to his lobby. She overhears about the Maya kidnapping thing that happened. And she's like, oh, and then Phoenix sees her and goes, don't you dare say a word to this about Apollo. Don't tell him. And she doesn't. She keeps her lips sealed. And then
who listens to their boss?
And then tells you in the middle of court when she's like, okay, so Apollo, there's this thing going on, actually. This is why Phoenix is freaking out right now. And Apollo's like, what the fuck? Why didn't you tell me sooner?
This is unrealistic. She would have immediately posted in the secret group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really
Athena
funny
posting.
They would have had to make a new
emoji.
they would have had to make a new secret group chat that didn't have Phoenix in it.
It's so funny.
I mean, yeah, that's the point of the secret group chat, is that your boss doesn't know about the secret group chat.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's just a group chat.
They have Phoenix in a group chat called secret group chat so that Phoenix thinks he's part of the secret group chat, but he's actually not.
There's just a group chat dedicated to like, hey, Trucy, Athena, I think Phoenix Wright drank a little too much tonight. He's lying on the couch and he keeps asking about fucking Edgeworth. What do we do? And Athena just says Lamau.
They need to put a fucking like. They need to put a mic. They need to microchip Maya.
Unrelated to the group chat, we need to microchip Maya.
She needs
Maya
to stop.
needs to be in the group chat.
Yeah. Oh, you know, Maya's fucking hilarious in the group chat.
Dude, she's supposed to be the sickest memes,
good
bro.
Maya's probably good at posting.
Dude, she has
oh my god,
so
Maya
many
would be so good at posting. Fuck yeah.
She has so many good Steel Samurai memes.
Pearly would be ironically, unironically funny. Like, she's not trying to be. She's not trying to have that fucking bullshit humor, but she's got it. Like, you know how the Facebook mom humor loops around and is actually funny again?
Oh, she's posting like Minion memes, but like dead ass.
She's earnest about them. Yeah, she's a very earnest
earnest poster.
Yeah.
She's overflowing with posting.
Like, it's hilarious because it's just so fucking like batshit, but she thinks it's like, hee, look at this little yellow guy.
Yeah.
He's so happy.
Pearl is like posting on like, like niche internet forums that are just like mostly otherwise like 60-year-old women just posting about like arts and crafts, and she's like, here's an image I drew today.
She would love to do the sponge painting.
Oh my god, bro. That's actually insane.
You're gonna have to include that video in
Whereas, like,
you're gonna have to include that video in the description below on YouTube.
But yeah, Maya's like 7 layers of irony, posting out here. And nobody else gets it. She's like, y'all need to get on my level.
I think I don't know, man. I actually just lost everything for a second.
Phoenix just learned how to use emojis, right?
Oh yeah.
Somebody just showed him how to turn the emoji keyboard on.
Yeah, he's just barely like, he's very, he's probably, he's an elder millennial, if we're going by the timeline. So, he's still just doing like very kind of normie emoji posting. He uses the thumbs up emoji, and like Maya makes fun of him for that. That
bro.
kind of
I use the thumbs up emoji.
We're elder millennials.
Emoji all the time.
That's the thing.
We're mid-range millennials.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Why is there a mirror at the fucking zoo? I think the funniest thing about fucking Phoenix Wright being online is that I would imagine him being like the guy who like put his phone up to the radio to record it for a ringtone. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Fucking. We gotta go back to court for a second. There's a court case that's happening next door between Apollo Wright and Phoenix Wright Justice, and I said
Apollo Wright and Phoenix Justice.
I said what I said, and I'm sticking to it. It's like a cage match. It's like a title match. We interviewed Emma Scott because for some reason Phoenix Wright said to himself, I'm going to have expert witnesses and testimony. And we go, okay, are we allowed to do that? Or like, what's up, man? And the judge goes, I don't know. I guess he did it. He just pulled this out. We talked to Emma Sky, who talks about the forensics of the scene, but doesn't talk about the fact that there's potentially a murder. We talked to Buff, the sergeant, who goes, you guys are trying to hide the real killer. And we're like, we're not, man. This motherfucker just accused somebody for no reason. He does this shit all the time. He can't keep getting away with this. So fucking funny. We do therapy on Sarge because now, for some reason, in this particular game, we're doing therapy on patients who actually need therapy.
Right. Yep.
Well, I guess that's good.
It's an upgrade. It's an improvement, as opposed to like us going to the judge being like, Your Honor, our client's losing it, and the client is like, I'm actually kind of fine. And then, and then Thea goes, she can't even stand, bro.
And this time, Sarge actually needs it, and we help her out and get her to come out of her shell. And by that we mean stop using the drone to talk all the time.
Come out into the real world.
She's a 12-year-old little girl with a army fascination, and her name is Army Buff.
I was kind of wondering, like, because at one point she starts insulting everybody by calling them capitalists, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? The turns out her
calls people capitalist pigs. Yeah, she was in the Red Army.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? Good.
That was actually a weird bit that I didn't think I needed follow through on, but thank you for doing so.
Yeah,
I'm following through. I love it.
And we also get a very brief fake out, right? Because Apollo and Athena keep referring to Sarge as with he him pronouns, right? Because they just assume that the kid obsessed with army stuff is a boy,
and they sound like a boy,
and they just the voice modulator on the drone apparently modifies the voice enough that they can't tell
to sound like an older man.
To sound like a sergeant, right, kind of thing. And Phoenix, of course, keeps using gender neutral pronouns the whole time, right? Just says like the child, you know, or something like that, or the kid. And that is like us, like, it's not really like a reveal per se, but like Apollo and Athena act shocked for a moment. But it's like the second you read any of the dialogue going on around it, you're like, oh, I think I know what's going on here, because Phoenix keeps not referring to the kid with any pronouns. They just keep saying the kid, the child.
The child.
The child.
So that happens. And you know, she's a little kid. You know, she's freaked out because she's now a fucking orphan. She had to see both of her parents get horribly killed, in one jumping out of a fucking window while cradling her.
Insane behavior
from a fire, you know, in arson, and the other one getting a 200-pound suitcase dropped on his head and crushing his skull in. And she's like, well, I'm gonna be normal about this.
I guess I'll be normal now. Stands up.
Yeah, she does that at the end. Yeah.
Well, she only does that.
Performs the Jesus miracle and stands.
Well,
she reveals that she's been able to stand for like a little while and just didn't want to, because that would mean she has to go outside.
Yeah.
Honestly relatable, but a little extreme.
We also, she also helps us realize that the murderer was someone else who was at the scene, who wasn't Dats, because that's our homie. Our guy would never kill somebody unless they were a capitalist
Here's the
pig.
thing is, like, I think Dats would kill. I think Dats would and has killed somebody.
Yeah, but not in this specific instance. He's not guilty for this one.
Like, he's a former paratrooper.
Yeah.
A man has killed.
He has claimed lives before, but not this one.
Not this time.
It's so funny, right? Because we have to have, like, Dats and Dirk be, like, rebels, and they're leading a revolution, but yet we gotta dance around the fact about anybody dying or anybody murdering anyone, right? You know, like, oh, well, it's a bloodless revolution, right? You know, is kind of like the vibes around it a little bit. Because we just conveniently always just smooth over any details about, well, wait, they're setting off bombs. You know, we saw them set off an explosion, but did anybody get hurt in that or killed? You know, don't worry about it.
Something that is also interesting is that we have to interrogate a person who apparently saw Dats leave the crime scene and also apparently anonymously reported this murder. And we all know who that great person is.
Who could it be?
Paul Attition Whipperson.
The only other NPC in this game.
In this court case.
Yes, in this court case, excuse me.
His full name is Paul Attition Whipperson.
Is that funny?
Is this the worst pun?
No.
Fuck. Shit.
What the fuck is it? How can it be worse than politician?
It just is.
Yeah, like I said, you'll know it. You'll know it when it happens. Trust me.
I thought I knew it. I said, this is it. This is stupid. But no.
But it wasn't.
I also thought, like, that guy whose name was, like, Praise Zealot was the one. I was like, this is dumb. This
No,
is
that was
it.
Dead ass, that was one of the worst puns, actually. I'm actually not over,
because it was super obvious, but it was also, like, really cringe.
Yeah.
There's part of me that's, like, wonders that once we get to the name that I'm thinking of, that you guys will be like, oh, well, I think the other ones are still worse.
Yeah,
and
you really built this up.
And you might. But I don't know.
The only way to keep this going is to keep building up. All right?
Yeah, we just gotta get there. We gotta get there, and we'll get there before the end of this case. So don't worry.
I mean, we literally have to. This is the end of the game. There's no other.
I mean, there's a DLC case after this, but it's not in the DLC case.
Paul provides a lot of testimony that's like very specifically easy. Like, the only way you could have known that is if you were there, man.
Right. Yeah, we have to kind of break down a bunch of his little wimpy lies. and it kind of I don't know. The testimony with Paul is not too difficult, I found, but his animations with him crushing his little nameplate, for his father and grandfather, his grandfather's nameplate, which
it said for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, or Abe.
Or, excuse me, it would be Abe. Yeah.
So, in case you wanted to make any fun contraption jokes, soda pop jokes.
Oh, Abe? Shit, I thought it was Abe.
Yeah, like Shinzo Abe.
God, fuck.
And do you think politician deserves the soda popper?
I think
I was gonna say it, but I was like, maybe not. But
he killed a man. He committed a murder and attempted to commit another, and also threatened to kill my personal friend Maya.
Yep.
Kamen Rider Black Sun.
I'm aware of the context.
Yeah, that's the funniest context possible. I can't believe Paul almost got away with this because he had the greatest fucking boxer in his corner, Phoenix Wright. He was the right choice after all. Fucking, I really like the fact that we got to thank Phoenix Wright. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, no.
Keep this in.
This is what happens when we late night podcasts.
It's, dude.
I
need to get tucked in.
Well, we're close to the end. The Founder's Orb, then, we pull it out in the middle of court, right? Mm-hmm. Because the crux of it is it really the Founder's Orb, or is it the Crystal of Ami-Fe? And if it reacts and behaves like the Founder's Orb should, then presumably it's the Founder's Orb. And since we learn from Army that her dad lit it on fire and somehow saw a face in it, Apollo says, well, wait, that lines up with the lyrics of the Holy Mother's prayer. So let's go ahead and light this orb on fire. And we get a very silly scene in which Apollo pulls out his lighter. Weird. He pulls out his lighter, and he and Athena, motion captured, very human motions, walk over to this orb.
It's so unsettling.
Light a fire underneath the orb, which makes the face of the Holy Mother appear. But it's a fully motion captured scene.
Just animate it. Just do a regular animation, guys.
They just kind of move just a little too, limberly or something. I don't know.
Something to also consider is that this entire time, I was working under the presumption that simply the Founder's Orb and the Crystal of Ami-Fe are the very same object.
Right.
Is it not possible that Ami-Fe is in fact the Holy Mother? Has anyone considered this in court? Am I the only one who's read a story?
Yeah.
With narrative and themes?
I don't know. Maybe.
Perhaps a twist.
Dude, this twist is coming literally kilometers away. I can see it. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. But yeah, we win this court case, and it is a slugfest to get through this court case. Because every time we prove something, Phoenix Wright puts his hands in his head and goes, "Think, motherfucker, think." And he actually has a response. And one of them is straight up like, that isn't the Founder's Orb because you didn't prove the legend. And we're all just like, were we supposed to? What the fuck are you talking about?
You used fire on the orb, but what's supposed to happen after you use fire on the orb and see the face is that you're supposed to receive spiritual power. And since you didn't receive spiritual power, it's not really the Founder's Orb. And Apollo's like,
even the judge is like, no, this is too far, Phoenix.
this is a little silly. Now, come on, man.
I love that the judge straight up goes like, "Do you need water, man? I know you don't want to lose, but dude, come on." And
God, I need water.
Apollo goes like, "Dude, is their boss okay?" He's talking like magic is real. And meanwhile, this is coming from Apollo Justice, user of the Psycho Eye attack, and then Athena Sykes, user of the Psycho Ear attack.
That's not magic. They're just the X-Men.
That's true. It's a distinct difference. Being a mutant doesn't mean you're magical. They're different. You're right. I'm sorry, Your Honor. They're X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. But Phoenix Wright isn't. He's just like a guy who won't shut the fuck up because I want to win this court case.
And this is also like when Phoenix like holds his head in his hands, right? And like is like gets very like, oh no, Maya, I failed you kind of thing. And Apollo's like, damn, what's up with him? And Athena responds with, oh yeah, well, I wasn't supposed to tell you, but there's blackmail and kidnapping going on here.
I can't believe that she didn't fucking tell us. What the fuck, bro?
She wouldn't be able to keep her mouth shut in reality. The Athena I know.
The Athena I know would live tweet that shit.
That's like my family curse. Like my sister, my mom. I'm not gonna lie, me. We can't keep a fucking secret. We have to tell somebody.
You can't keep a secret?
I can't keep, unless it's like a dire, deep, dark secret that you truly, truly like do not want me to tell somebody. Like if I'm like, somebody, I got you a Christmas gift and it's like fucking March 1st, I'm gonna be like, guess what I got you for Christmas?
You actually straight up did like tell me what you got me for my birthday, like way before my birthday happened.
Well, I bought it for you before your birthday and it went right to you because that's how Steam works.
Okay, well, am I wrong?
I mean, sure.
Am I wrong? But I'm not wrong. Your Honor, I'm right.
Talk to your fellow Hell Diver.
I gotta go get a drink of water.
Rose, are you actually getting up to get a drink of water?
Well, I was kind of a bit, but now maybe I should, huh?
Wait, we can get through
I'll
this.
think about it.
We'll think about it. We prove that the orb is the Founder's orb because we prove that the guy who killed Archie Buff was not our client. It was Phoenix Wright's client. He got the fucking turnabout. You like that motherfucker?
Yeah.
He's a shit asshole accusing Dats of being a murderer. What are you doing, idiot? We prove it because, like, and here's kind of the funny part, is that normally in a case, whenever, like, a person kills somebody, I feel like we have to go through a lot of work to prove that the murderer did it. Meanwhile, Apollo just was like, oh, here's how he did it. Here's how he did it. You know, like, he's just like, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Here's how it works. It makes perfect sense, right? And he goes, and Phoenix Wright just goes, fuck, that makes perfect sense. Please don't acquit my client. Please don't accuse my client of being a murderer. Please don't do it.
We have, like, the indication of genuine physical evidence, which is his fingerprints are probably on Sarge's chair. So, like,
right,
you know, this is what we come to prove.
Yeah,
it's like, let's get him.
Fuck him up.
Get him.
And we have our brain blast.
Yeah, we did the brain blast. Which is like, honestly, like, I don't really like the brain blast thing and the concept of it's just like so fucking silly. But at the same time, it's like, oh my god, this case is almost over. Thank God.
We need the brain blast because it's you know what other video game has like a brain blast like mechanic? Trigger Happy Havoc Danganronpa. It kind of has a brain blast mechanic. You know, you get to surf, and you surf your way to the truth. You know,
right?
No, I actually think in the first one you use a skateboard, then you use a surfboard in the second one. My apologies. I gotta keep my timeline true. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Of course. You must always keep your Danganronpas straight.
You gotta do it. You know, it's if you let them mix, it gets bad news.
If you mix them up, then that's Danganronpa.
All right, everybody, that was the podcast. Have a good night.
All right. So I leaned back away in my chair for that one. We figured out that it was dipshit McGee over there, politician, because The suitcase was used to kill Archie Buff because it's a very heavy suitcase. Dax, we gotta talk about what the fuck you're putting in that suitcase. But we're doing that later. He threw it off the second floor onto this first floor and killed the guy with it. Then used books to cover up the body to make it look like Dax did it. But he had to push a passed out army buff back into her room. And that's when his prince got into the chair. Bing, bada, boom. That moron's guilty. I'm accusing him of murder. Phoenix Wright, I know damn well that Maya Fey is being kidnapped, and I don't give a shit. I'm smarter than you. I can figure out a way to solve it. Because I'm that motherfucker.
Right.
The dragon never yields.
A dragon never yields.
I hate that voice acting line too. It's so out of place.
What do you mean?
The fact that it's the same every single time, it's identical.
Yeah. And then they it happens, right? And then they do that thing that this game is loving to do where they show you a flashback of a thing that happened not even 30 minutes ago.
More like 30 seconds ago.
30 seconds ago. Yeah. It's like it hasn't been that long. I remember what happened.
This.
I was
here. I was playing the game. I remember.
Yeah, I put my DS and walked away to make tea for a little bit, but it really wasn't that long. I remember.
And I mean the main trick, right, is that you need Maya, right? And that's why you can't get rid of her. Paul. That's why you can't send the signal to get rid of Maya is, well, you actually need her. And there's also a throwaway line where it's and you wouldn't be able to bribe Pearl to do it either because you threatened her cousin. So can't count on using Pearl either. So that's
Pearl would kill you in unarmed combat.
Right. She would
You'd be
suplex
dead before you even knew what was coming.
That kind of takes Paul out, and he has his little breakdown animation, right? And with him getting the election results on TV, but then realizing having the scandal come up on as a news flash kind of thing. So it's fun. It's cute.
It's funny that it's straight up a hallucination he has.
Yeah.
It just cuts to the judge, and the judge is like, damn, we should get somebody in here.
That man is hallucinating. Please, somebody help.
Yeah.
That's the case. And then we meet Phoenix Wright outside after having a funny little... Well, first of all, Army Buff comes up and goes, wow, Apollo, you really helped me, and now I feel brave enough to stand on my 2 feet. And she literally does. She gets up.
Yeah.
Yay.
Congratulations on me.
And then Phoenix Wright comes in and goes, bad news, gang. We don't have Maya. She's in the kingdom of Kurain. To which my response is, how did someone kidnap a person and bring them to another country? Did they also kidnap her passport?
Well, she's still there, right?
Oh, she never made it back to America.
Left.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That makes way more sense, honestly.
She never left. She's just always been in Kurain this whole time. But yes.
Okay, now I get it.
We get it. We get a little bit of the kidnapper was politician's benefactor. It was somebody who was, they were just telling him to get the orb for them. They were in Kurain the whole time. So now we got to go to Kurain.
Yeah. Never going back, baby.
Now
we're going back.
I have to go back and deal with Sadmati again.
I fucking hate that guy.
Well,
I'm so sorry. Just hate him. He sucks.
He has a little bit more time to prove himself.
My condolences to... See, this is my further evidence for why Dirk is so shitty. He's like, how did my son turn out like this? And I'm like, well, he fucking did, didn't he? Whose fault is that? Consider.
Yeah. Maybe you should brush up on your parenting skills, Dirk.
Interesting. Are you telling me that in the time he was using to lead the Defiant Dragons, he could have been a decent father?
He was perhaps neglecting his son.
It was very funny when they had a scene to hang out with each other, and Dirk's like, "So how you doing?" Apollo just goes, "Fine," and then they just stop talking.
That was realistic, though.
That's
Come on,
real.
let's have a talk.
Shit.
How you doing? I'm okay.
Cool.
Good talk.
Yeah. Funny shit, dude. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's fun to get Apollo and Phoenix facing off against each other. There's part of me that does wish that Phoenix was not under duress for it, right? And that there was like a genuine face-off between the two of them, just as in like Phoenix is just straight up testing Apollo. Can you do this, right?
I was wondering if
graduates kind of thing.
It's so funny that it would be like Phoenix doing that when he barely does it every single fucking time.
Right.
I need to make sure that I need to make sure that you live up to the right anything agency, whatever. And he's like literally just barely scraping by.
The flying by the seat of your pants standard. I think we're already there.
Yeah.
At first I was like, all right, either Maya's been kidnapped, option A, or option B, like maybe he's sort of playing the angle of trying like find some stuff out from this guy who's very obviously like just a pawn.
Yeah.
So I was like, it could be one or the other. Nah, it turned out Maya was kidnapped again, but what can you do?
It happens. Apparently, at least it happens. It's Maya's good at getting herself into trouble.
I guess maybe we should microchip her.
Yeah.
I think that's a fine suggestion.
Well, who knows? Maybe that could be useful in the rest of this case. We'll find out soon. Any predictions before we kind of go into the next big chunk?
We're killing the Queen Consort. He's dead, and we're gonna figure out his murder.
That's your prediction? Okay.
That's my prediction. And that's why they're gonna accuse Dirk, is because they're like, of course the rebel leader killed the Queen Consort.
Okay.
That's
you think this is gonna be like a thing where it's like, and now like he's was kind of like the main evil guy, and now it's like, oh, now we gotta like convince the queen to be on our side, and we'll get Rafa on our side, kind of thing.
No, because there's got to be one more
happy family kind of stuff.
Yeah, that like the queen killed him or whatever. I predict half thought through and ham-fisted attempt to redeem Sadmati.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was always coming, wasn't it?
Is that even a prediction?
Not really.
We know how these games works.
It's just gonna be like that. I want to play as Maya.
Okay.
Maya Court.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll be in court. We'll probably just be running around in some kidnapper rooms or whatever.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see if any of your predictions come true then next time. So you can keep up with the show via our website, updatedautopsy.report, which will give you links to everything, all of our socials and all the Let's Plays and all that good stuff. You can follow me on pretty much all social media at Yotsuben. Dessy, where can people find you?
Somewhere out there.
And Tiago?
At Tiago S. Dutra on Twitter, artist formerly known as Twitter. Linktree in bio.
Still fucking Twitter.
It's still, I listen.
Twitter to me.
Yeah.
And Rose?
You can find me at Rose Nonsense on co-host and some other places probably, who knows. And I don't know, maybe just walking around Boston. You never know when you'll see me.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. We hope you'll rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast platform.
Please, please, please.
Next time, we will be playing all of the next investigation phases.
What?
There are a couple investigation phases back to back. We're going to just play all the investigation phases, and then after that, it's all court to the end. So we're going to do all investigation next.
Wait, really?
Yes.
No court?
It's to be a little bit more specific. There's like a bunch of investigation phases. There's 3 investigation chunks.
3?
Yeah, there's like 3 investigation chunks.
Oh yeah, this case is like 15 hours long.
And then after that, there are you're gonna kill me. And after that, there are 3 court chunks.
3?
And we're gonna do all 3 investigation chunks next here.
Oh my gosh.
Now some of those
we're all gonna die.
Now some of those chunks are shorter than others, right? But that's how the game divides them up that way. So that's what we're doing. We're still breaking this case up into 3 chunks because otherwise with work and our own schedules, we wouldn't make it. So forgive us, listeners, for breaking up one case into 3 portions, but this is how we're doing it. So if you're playing along next time, do the next 3 investigation phases, and when it tells you, oh, we're going to court, you can stop. That's where we're going to be talking about next time.
If you're playing along, you're so strong.
If you're not playing along, if you're not playing along, you're a Chad. Actually, you're actually a fucking Giga Chad.
Alrighty,
you heard the man.
All right, that's your homework. Good luck, everybody. See you next time. Bye.
Be strong. Bye.
Be strong.
Be strong.
Getting ready.
Attack.
Let's go.
Locking S foils in attack position.
What the fuck is happening?
Wednesday activated.
Wednesday activated. Is that what it is?
Wednesday.
We've activated. My Wednesday's activated. Just like my
Wednesday's
charcoal.
Activated charcoal. Fucking hate that shit. Activated charcoal's bullshit.
This is me trying out for a video game protagonist. My name is
Here are my
Tiago.
barks.
Here are my barks. Let's go! I can't believe it. Whoa! Boing!
Uh-huh.
What is the boing?
Me when I see a woman?
Me when I whip it out?
No! I wouldn't!
Well, your sound effect implies otherwise,
juice.
sir.
I can't do a wolf whistle.
It's okay.
Because I can't whistle.
I can't whistle either.
What the... Wait. Was that you, Des?
Yes.
Yeah, my wife can wolf whistle.
Holy shit, Des.
I can whistle?
You can whistle?
Whenever we go out, the people always shout. Whenever we go out, I'm always like, hey, honey, there's a fucking hot Mojave hot. Go ahead and wolf whistle at her. And then Jenny does.
Can't do it on command.
I can't do it on command. You're proving me a liar.
Yes, I can. I'm joking.
Proving me a liar.
I don't even know what's happening.
There we go.
Yeah, we got there. We did it,
honest
team.
to God attempt to whistle.
Yeah, go ahead. You whistle a little.
You're like 60% of the way there.
Yeah, that's the start.
I didn't realize Ben couldn't whistle until like a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
it just never occurred to me to like think about it.
It's just one of those things.
Rose, can you whistle?
Not terribly well, if I'm honest.
Can you give us just a honest to God try?
Money.
You have noise suppression by Chris Bond.
I do. Hold on.
And it was a noise suppression by Chris. Judged your whistling wanting.
Hold on. Okay, here we go.
Oh, well,
that's pretty good. That's like a teapot whistle.
That's way better than mine.
It's because you have European blood inside of you.
And Doc's freaking out, so I'm gonna turn noise suppression by Chris back on.
I can whistle.
I'm hitting those dog frequencies.
I
got those dog frequencies in me.
I can't do the finger whistle thing though, where you like put your fingers in your mouth.
Dude, that's what I want to do. I want to go to a burlesque show and do the whistle.
I don't even know how to do it.
Me neither. I should look up a tutorial. How to do finger.
This is the best use of our time.
I have time.is.
Yeah, I mean,
take
listen,
a deep breath and close your mouth.
We're all recording, right?
Yeah.
This is like primo podcast material. Don't worry.
Jesus.
This is going to go in the intro or outro, or
all of it.
It'll be fine.
I liked the part where I whistled and the recording heard it.
See, I'm just choking. You're not supposed to put your fingers that far back.
Jesus.
Use 2 fingers. Press the end of your index and thumb finger together. Open your mouth and stretch your lips over your teeth.
That's how that sounds, yeah.
Move your tongue back in your mouth.
Uh-huh.
Then put your index and thumb in your mouth.
Uh-huh.
Take a deep breath and close your mouth around your fingers. Keep your lips stretched over your teeth. The only gap between your lips should be the space between your fingers. That is where the air will come out when you whistle. Blow air through your fingers and out of your mouth. Okay, that's it.
All right.
Okay. Let me give it a good old honest to God try. It's just like David beat Goliath.
I don't know
I don't know
about
if
this
is
gang.
working.
I don't know about this.
This is great podcast material. Just about 4 people just all going like sucking on their fingers.
I did it one time. I think like somebody tried to explain to me how to do it, and I did it one time, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I never did it again.
All right,
take your fingers, put them together, put them in your mouth,
and
profit.
Yep.
I'm not doing this.
All right.
I'm not doing it either. I'm not doing it.
Uh-huh.
He's not doing it.
He's not doing it.
All right, I'm actually done.
You're good to go?
I don't know if I can do it because I have long fingernails.
I hurt my tongue.
There. Okay, what are we clapping?
Time.is, right?